What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a Let's Play on the Nintendo Switch. We did put it to vote on the channel and you guys picked Witch Doctor. At least I think it was Witch Doctor. It was very close with this and Demon Hunter. But yeah, we've got the Switch fired up. We're going to do as best we can with it. I've put the camera in what I hope is a good place, so any feedback on that is greatly appreciated. Obviously, last time we did a Let's Play, I don't think we had the camera, so a little bit of new tech that I've got. I might get a better camera, I might get a green screen. Haven't really thought about it too much, so just let me know. But all we're doing today, Let's Play, I'll probably try and keep the episodes to like 1.5 hours, maybe 1 hour, just so that it's not like unmanageable to watch. But again, if you'd like them short, if you'd like them longer, let me know. But other than that, guys, we're just going to jump in, grab this challenge rift bag reward, provided it doesn't freeze. Why won't it let me pick me up? Come on, let me pick it up.
I cannot do that here.
Why can't I pick this up? Why can't I pick that up? Why won't it let me pick the challenge rift bag up? Come on, you know you want to. Let's try and exit this. Well, this is off to a cracking start, isn't it? What's going on? What is going on? So we've got a slight advantage on the Switch. There is no server lag, which is obviously really annoying at the moment on the PC. I don't know what you guys are finding it, but I'm finding it extremely difficult to play the game. It's really laggy, infuriatingly so sometimes. On the Switch we don't have those problems, but it does take quite a while for the loading screens to get through, so I don't know, a bit of a trade-off, but we can just rift pretty much the whole way, so that is pretty nice. So let's try and pick this up now. Yep, right, awesome. What a weird little glitch to start us off. Okay, so let's gobble this thing up. So we've got all the crafting mats that we need, and the DBs, and some gold. So I guess we probably want to train this guy up. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these buttons are backwards to the Xbox. So if I'm struggling, it's because I've spent 3 years playing Diablo on the Xbox, and yeah, it's a little bit backwards. Now we're going to keep it on normal difficulty, just because the game is actually a little bit harder on the console to start off with, because we need I don't know whether it's the monsters have got extra health or whether it's the fact that we don't do as much damage, but the early parts of this game are really difficult. I've forgotten to get the follower, haven't I? Let's go back. We need to grab the follower, don't we? Yeah. We're not going to steal his weapon, that's an absolute douche move. But we'll get this. We'll get this. That and that. Was there something we could buy? Shield as well. Awesome. So that stuff is all equipped, except for this. Right, off we go. Now, before we really jump into this, I'm going to try and talk about like just some issues that are going on. We'll talk probably mostly about Diablo, but obviously for an hour and a half, there's going to be a few bits that we're going to have to chat about some other stuff. What I would like to say really deeply from the bottom of my heart is thank you to everyone who's watching at the moment, but in particular thank you to anybody who's subbed, anybody who's liked, and in particular the people who recently have been using the donation link on my videos. It does help keep the channel going, so thank you very much to anybody who has done that. Now obviously step one any new season is to go and get the cube, because we do have enough mats to extract stuff. Normally speaking I would go and kill Magda, but as we're on hardcore, I probably should have said that at the start, we're on hardcore, or at least I think we're on hardcore. Did I? Maybe I haven't picked hardcore. We'll treat it like hardcore, so if we die we'll just say that's the end of the character, but I might not have picked hardcore, can't remember. Really need to get better at this. But yeah, so normally speaking you go and you kill Magda, but because this game is actually harder, I think, on console, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go straight for the cube, and it's pretty easy actually for us to just get completely overwhelmed. You know, even early on, it's quite easy to get overwhelmed. because some of these, the mobs scale very quickly in the first few levels, and unless you actually pick up some gear, then it becomes harder for you as the player. So Magda can be a bit of a difficult fight. Probably could have done it. That would have given us some extra mats, but I just think, screw it, let's go get the cube. In terms of like the game on Switch, I think it's a really good port. I enjoy the game on console. As I said at the start, I did play it for quite a while actually. I started off on PC, went away from the game for a while, and console's actually, funnily enough, what got me back into it. And I think we only had seasons on console since season 10. So even like seasons are pretty new on console. Right, now we need to grab these little Nephilim morb things once we get 10 kills. Once we get them, we should then, I think, from reading on the internet, be on par with what the PC players are doing. So we need the Nephilim buff up to actually deal the same amount of damage, which is a bit nuts. But we've got zombie dogs now. As I say, why the buttons are backwards to Xbox is utterly mind-boggling. It is utterly infuriating because I just keep forgetting. Hot swapping is quite nice on the Switch and on the console version of the game. You don't have to worry about it. You just like pause it and there we go. I think we just heard our first goblin. So that's good. We should have 2 of them. Again, the little blighters are actually quite hard to kill early on. Definitely heard one. It's just a question of can we find it. Again, there's a danger here that will level to like level, a few too many levels, and then these things here really start hitting hard. But at the moment, I think we're okay. Once we've got the cube, once we've spent the blood shards, then maybe we can think about upping the difficulty. I've hired the scoundrel as well, haven't I? Has that swapped automatically because I put a bow? Maybe I cocked it up again. We'll fix that when we get to town. Worst let's play ever. A cursed chest, so we could take that. That's pretty good for some XP, but I think we'll leave it because all we want really is the cube. And we really don't want to have anybody standing in it, poison and stuff like that. Right, which one's the map? No, not that one. That's it, down. Okay, so we need to be heading up. North is the way to go. But the game, as I was saying, on console is actually really enjoyable. It's a pretty decent port. It's not exactly the same. Like, teleporting is pretty difficult. Any kind of skill where you're looking to target a specific enemy is difficult. And I think that kind of, here we go, gold goblins. I think that kind of feeds into a lot of my build videos because I've spent so long playing on the Xbox that I ended up much preferring move speed based builds because they were just so much easier to actually do on the console. You weren't relying on Ingeum and where it was you were teleporting. And again, it's also why I really dislike the elite sniper builds again, because this game is difficult on the console. You really just want a build where you just wave clearing. That's definitely, in my opinion, the builds that suit best to this kind of platform. But level 6, we might be like 8 or 9 by the time we get the cube. Again, we could just go back to town and try and see if we can speak to that vendor guy. He might have some more gear for us. But even like this, like I can't choose where this Grasp of the Dead is going, or at least I haven't figured it out. So if anyone does know, maybe they could let us know in the comments. But it's just kind of pot luck where it goes. You pop it. We need the zombie dogs out, don't we? Y is different on the Xbox. Y is the top button, and it's X is the top button, which is just really annoying. And I think the way you pick stuff up is backwards as well. So, I don't know. You'll hear me complain about that a few times. But yeah, I don't think I've picked hardcore here. which is slightly annoying, but we'll treat it hardcore. Or maybe you can let me know, should we do hardcore or should we do 3 lives and we're out? We'll have 3 goes of it. Just depends how long we're going to spend sort of with each character, really. Whether we'll do more than one. But I think we're probably going to end up with quite a long time for this season, because obviously we've got COVID going on, you've got the lockdown. I presume that's going to be a delay to things. I can't really see. Always go that way, it's the wrong way. I can't really sort of see that we'll end up with everything running smoothly and on time. I mean, Blizzard's, like, the communication on the forums has pretty much disappeared at the moment, which is fine. You know, it's fine. It just is what it is. But we might end up with like a 6-month season. Again, I've got absolutely no basis for that. I mean, I would have thought maybe in the circumstances, and this is just an idea off the top of my head, is that maybe we could just end the season at the 3 months. And if they said, well, we don't have time to do the new sets or anything, then we'll just give you a season theme either that we've already had just for another 3 months, or just a really easy one like activating an item, you know, like a Traverse Pledge and Compass Rose, something like that. Now, obviously that would be a backward step in terms of season theme, because I've really enjoyed this one with the cube being open. It's been very good for making builds and T16 bounties. That sort of stuff's been really nice. But obviously sometimes in life you just have to play the cards you dealt, and I probably would rather have a kind of easy peasy kind of, not cheating season theme, but just like really, you know, really easy, really low brain power, nothing that needs to be done, rather than this one lasting for 6 months. But I don't know, I could see the argument for keeping the cube open. I do quite like it. So the other option is maybe they could activate some more buffs this season. Because obviously we've got the double goblins, which is nice. It's pretty minimal as buffs go. And it is really mad to think that we did that for a whole season theme. And one thing that I did find funny on my last video, when I looked at the Switch leaderboards, is just the amount of people who took that video seriously. I've got so many comments, like, you know, my videos normally get a fairly good upvote ratio, and it's one of my lower ones. And a lot of people just said they exited the video as soon as they saw that the Switch was even being mentioned. And I don't know, maybe I played it too straight, too deadpan. But obviously the game on here is a mess in terms of on season and leaderboards. There's just blatant cheating, hacking, modding. If you'd bought this game and were seriously looking to compete on Switch, it would just be mind-bogglingly bad. So one of the other advantages of coming here, Runes of Session, is it's really easy to get this Massacre bonus up, because there's just so many piddly little enemies, and these like giant rat king things that launch the little crappy rat things. Absolutely brilliant. You can chain so many of those together. Really easy to just drag them along with you, and you know, end up with 200 plus kills. And the XP is fairly decent, so you know, I don't feel like you're losing too much time by coming here and doing this. But yeah, cube's always number one. So I'm gonna have to try and remember. We go back to town. We've got to fix the follower because we want the Templar, because we're on quote unquote hardcore. So we kind of want the healing, and got the blood shards to spend. So as long as we don't go past level 15, we're okay. It's like the loot pool's the exact same, I think, up to 15. So that's fine. And what else have we got? 25% XP. Lovely jubbly. We've unlocked Horrify as well. And I think we'll do the upgrade as well when we get back. So spend the shards, do the upgrade, and see what I mean? Like, now we're getting to the point where we are getting a little bit overwhelmed, because the gear that we've picked up obviously is okay for the first few levels, but not so much now. But looks like we're at the cube. So there you go. We've managed to survive unscathed. And Witch Doctor's pretty good. We've got obviously all the pets and stuff. So we'll tell Zoltan Cool to shut up and we'll go back to town. I was chalked off one of the things for the season journey, so that's pretty good. I think we left that. I left the XP there, didn't I? Never mind. Right. Let's go back to New Tristram. Let's get rid of that deadbeat, the scoundrel. We have blood shards to spend, so let's go for Mojo. Come on, Gazing Demise. This is always the really nervous part, spending your blood shards, because it makes such a difference to get a multiplier. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where's the YouTuber look? Where's the Let's Play look? Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, 175 left. So, we could go Helm and try and get a Leoric's Crown. Got a fairly decent drop chance on that anyway. So we could just save them. So we can't use this. Yeah, you'll have to forgive me, guys, remembering which way around the buttons go. We can't use this till level 16, so we'll stick it in the stash. Because obviously we don't want to die whilst we've got that on us. And let's screw it, let's go for Helm. That one looks okay, so we'll keep that. And no, come on, let's be brave. No, gamble failed, never mind. Right, we'll put the yellow one back in here and then we'll salvage the rest, I think. If we pick any upgrades up other than that? No, I don't think so. Right, so we've got to chill out now until I think level 16. What was the Helm? 11. We'll just take that with us, I think. Yeah, we've got it. Okay, follower. Yeah. Let's try a Rift. Now, one of the good things about Switch is that we can Rift the whole way because we get masker bonuses in here, so that is quite nice. We might just simply get decked as soon as we get in, so if we have to come out and get some more gear, we will do. But fingers crossed we'll start to find some gear. See, like already this is taking like fair few hits to destroy stuff, and you really kind of want to be one-shotting. It's white, you can't really jack it up to hard straight away for me. Well, I can't anyway. Maybe you guys are better at this. And stuff starts hurting, doesn't it? We do also get the XP bonus of killing everything. Yeah, this is too slow. I think we're gonna need some more. Could go try find an amulet or ring. I think that's around about now. But now we've got double damage. It is weird the way this mechanic works, isn't like you just don't do the correct amount of damage until you've killed 10 things. Hope the game sound isn't too loud, otherwise we'll be restarting this next week. Open this chest, see what's inside. The thing is as well is like every time you go up a level, things just get harder. So unless you're finding something that's adding to your damage, it's just getting harder and harder. We could go back and craft a weapon. That would probably help. But we'll see. Oh, we've got Soul Harvest now. So that should help, because that's an intelligence buff, which obviously helps for damage and toughness. Definitely a good skill. I like the little wailing noise you make when you cast it as well. It's got some braces. I wonder if we've put those on. I think this switch comes with like an auto equip on. Oh dear, Waller. This could be a problem. Finger is poised over the potion button for this. But props to anybody who's been playing hardcore this season on the PC. The servers, for me, almost would just make it impossible. Obviously I'm playing on EU, so you know maybe it's not the same for everybody. in a bit of a bad spec here. We've got double pack. Waller isn't helpful. We're taking ages. There we go, there's the Leorics. There we go, the RNG's flowing. Just avoid that explosion. But yeah, props to anybody who has been playing. There we go, a bit of main stat. And it's a bit cheese this, but we can stop and we can stop and identify this and then put it on mid-fight. Which does seem a bit cheese. Feels a bit like cheating that really. But once you start getting a couple of legendaries, a couple of decent items, you know, it starts to get pretty easy. But yeah, as I was saying, anyone who's been playing this game hardcore on EU servers, you've got my absolute utmost respect, because I don't think I could take the stress of thinking the server's going to crash and we end up died. I mean, I've lost count the amount of times I've died this season to just some form of uncontrollable bullshit where the server's frozen, or you've got that thing where the map starts disappearing. It's been bad, and I don't know if that's like a coronavirus thing, because maybe just like everyone around me is like absolutely crunching the internet. I've got the kids at home, so you know, maybe they're sucking up some of the bandwidth. Maybe it's just my internet, I don't really know. But there's absolutely no way I could do hardcore on the PC. It would just be absolute crash city, which would be no good at all. But it's nice to do the Witch Doctor. This was my first ever season, I think season 10 on Xbox. Played Zunies, mainly because it was all about the DB farming back then. And I knew you got an extra piece of that so you could do DB farming. Hey, we're on the leaderboards. That's not bad. Right, did we pick up something else? That's better. Whoops. Yeah, the UI isn't great, to be honest. I can see kind of like why it is the way it is, and I can also understand why if you play PC and you start trying to pick this up, you just think, oh god, that is absolutely horrible. But you know, it's a console game. It's kind of got to function. I'd say the biggest miss, definitely, is the ability to look at all your items in like in your like your little grid square. The inventory Tetris as hey, look at this! I must have died the other day. So the Nemesis system on Switch and console is cool. So the idea is this is somebody in your friends list who's died, and you get this Nemesis, and I think you get a legendary off them. So what level are we? We are level 10, so we might just get another Lyrics Crown here. Again, for hardcore, this isn't amazing because it's quite a tough little fight, as you can see. But we've got a Resplendent chest here as well, so you never know, there might be something good in this. If we can... Ooh, get out this freeze. If we can get this guy, get a legendary, that'll be pretty good. I keep dropping off my Soul Harvest stacks as well. There we go. Second Lyrics. Bummer. Could have done with that a little bit later. I suppose it could be a... what's the other helm? The Split Tusk? No, it's another Lyrics. Slightly higher level, so we'll take it. What were the multipliers on it? 95%. We will take that all day long. Nice pair of kicks. Better pair of boots. Better pair of gloves. Better chest plate. So that was quite nice. And look at that. Crikey. We've just jumped our toughness quite a bit by the fact that we nearly died when we put that stuff on. And more to the point, our life percentage was so low. But yeah, maybe once we get the Gazing Demise, once we get to level 15, we'll jack it up. In saying that, we don't get Spirit Barrage till 17, so got to be a little mindful of positioning here, because we definitely don't want to get overrun. Need these zombie dogs. I've probably got runes to select on stuff as well. Again, you can see how long this is taking to kill the enemies. We'll go back. Did I get a weapon? Yeah, I put it on, didn't I? No main stat on it though. So maybe after we've done this little fight, we'll go to town, see if we can pick something up to speed the damage up, because this is hella slow. Well, the toughness seems okay. We're standing in the middle of an absolute ton of poison. And it's not doing anything, so... So one of the things about leveling is it always got this kind of constant decision: do I go back to town and try and improve my gear, or do I just stay out here and try and find something better? You know, like the whole kind of how much time do you spend in town? How much does that take away from you kind of time getting to 70? And obviously, if you pick something like Necromancer, then you can get your multiplier straight in the cube like instantly, and as soon as you find the cube, you're dealing pretty big damage. But yeah, off to a good start. I haven't died. I haven't looked close to dying. So again, we get more XP every time we kill a new enemy that we haven't killed before. We get some XP. So rifting, because we do get to do the massacre bonuses, is pretty good. Let's see, what else have I got on my list of stuff to talk about? I've made a list, so if you've got anything you want me to chat about next time, just stick it in the comments and we'll go through it. Overall, the game on the Nintendo Switch is probably a good topic. I'd say the highest I've got probably is Paragon, I think 400, just when I first got the Switch, just to have a little play around with it. So it'd be nice to get past that if we could. It'd be nice to get primals unlocked. But I think, you know, if you do a lot of travelling, I mean, obviously at the moment nobody's really doing any travelling, but if you've got a commute and you just want that Diablo experience kind of in your pocket, you know, or you're going on holiday, fancy playing a little bit then, you know, it's certainly good. Right, do we got any runes? We've got a rune on this. On cooldown, can't change it. Right, which way around is this? Is this B or is this A? No, A. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure that's backwards from Xbox. But never mind, we will battle on. Ooh, another elite vortex. And the grotesques. The grotesques, you just cut as a primarily necro player. I suppose I've done more barb than anything over the last couple of seasons actually, but primarily necro since that's come out. These grotesque things are a pain in the arse. Absolutely wretched. See, like getting sucked in from the vortex and then landing in one of them. Not good. But yeah, I'd say the overall gameplay experience, if you've got a Switch, you know, I mean, I think comparing it to the PC is possibly the wrong thing to do, because PCs are always just going to be better, it's going to play better, it's going to look better. You know, it's an ARPG, it's designed for a PC. You know, it's one of the reasons that maybe Diablo Immortal worries a little bit, because it's kind of moving away from the classic PC genre. But if you were to compare it to nothing, which is the other option, you just don't bring it to the Switch, I think it's amazing. I think it's really, really good port. Pretty much the game is all there, and it plays well, definitely plays well. I think we should have put a passive on as well, shouldn't we? And this is going to be a recurring theme. I'm going to be nattering away, not realising that I'm actually not doing things that I should be doing. It's like we could really do with killing this guy. Come on, get him, get him, get him. There we go. Now, is his mate still around, or did we miss him? No, he's still here. Happy days. Now, we might actually struggle with the Rift Guardian. Again, you just need to be... If we hang out by the entrance, then we can get like a little cheat. So if you're ever unsure if you're not going to kill the Rift Guardian... Whoop, another waller. Which one? Which bloody button? There we go. Right, so if we head back down when the Rift Guardian comes, then it just allows us to just duck into the next level, and that means that he won't follow us, and even if we are going to die, we'll just be able to go back to town and sort something out. Come on, get him. Although, oh, just taking a screen capture, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, me fumbling about with the buttons, guys. Sorry, it's just going to happen. Right, here we go. Look at this massive sword. Let's go. Obviously, as this is a normal Nephilim lift, these enemies aren't going to disappear when the Rift Guardian comes. So if you end up getting yourself into the wrong place, you get the wrong Rift Guardian, it could be a very short Let's Play. I don't know, I'm tempted by 3 lives. I think that 3 lives and then on to the next character maybe. I don't know, maybe that's a fanny way of doing it. Maybe we'll just do 1 life. We'll see. But I suppose if it isn't hardcore, at least I get to work on my Switch Paragon. Although in saying that, I'd say the downside from the Switch, from sounding about it, and this was the same on Xbox, is the downside is it's full of people who want to hack the game, because you can do offline mode, you can save offline and all that kind of stuff. So if you were to jump in a public game, there's a chance that somebody will jump in with like Mega Paragon and one of those glitched Gem of Ease things, and they'll just insta rank you up to like Paragon 2000. And like it sounds good in a way, because it's just like, oh cool, be really powerful, but you've literally just taken away the whole point of the game. So we're gonna maybe drag these things over to the exit. Rank 13. Oh, this guy's bad news. Get the zombie dogs on him. Go boys, you go get him. Pop the potion. Ah, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Fine, fine, fine. Easy peasy. And some lovely loot. Anything else over here? No. Right. Let's go back to town. Important to stay hydrated, guys. Right. What have we got weapon wise? Oh, I keep pressing the wrong menu button. Ceremonial knife. Oh, that's pretty decent. We can stick that back on. Better pair of braces. Don't want to change the helm because we like the Leorics. Nice belt here, bit of int, bit of it. So let's salvage that. We may as well salvage that. We don't want it. And let's see, is there any other gear pieces we could buy off this guy to help pick us up a little bit? Might have to restart the game for him to restock, which I don't terribly want to do. So we've got 3 more levels, I think. Let's put a passive on. 15% chance of automatic zombie dog, reduce all damage, and increase max mana. We're going to go with damage reduction from jungle fortitude, with the hardcore theme in mind. Let's see, what can we do two-handed weapon wise? Let's go axe at 16. I think we'll go for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. So, a couple more levels. Get that on. Come back, get this Gazing Demise, and we'll probably up the difficulty then, I think. See how quickly this goes. But there's no rush. No rush to get to 70. You know, you should always play the game so that you enjoy it. And hardcore as well. You know, what is it the Marines say? Slow is steady. Steady is fast. Something like that. Smooth is fast. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. But I've got to say, I've been enjoying Diablo so much lately. Like I've played every class bar Crusader this season on PC, and it's been so much fun. I can't really explain. I don't really know what it is or why it is that I've been enjoying it so much. Because we've had a couple of new sets in the game. Neither of them are particularly like top tier, to be honest, and it's nice to have had a couple of interesting new bits to do. But I think it is just because I've played every class, and that's the only reason. And it's been done on 3 different accounts as well. So instead of me hopping from one to the other, it's been kind of like I've gone through this process of leveling every account, putting together a build for every account, finding all the pieces, the primals. You know, 3 lots of clear and GR70 primals, and I think really, kind of, it does highlight just like the joy for me in playing this game is always like the finding items and upgrading. And obviously once you start getting to 1000 Paragon and you've got everything decked out with augments, you know, and beyond, the juice is lost a little bit because there isn't really anything left to find. So I don't know. So maybe in another month of PC play, I'll be done. I'll just feel like there's nothing left to do. But I have really been enjoying it. And it's been good making lots of different content on the channel as well. So builds for all the different classes have been really good. So I don't know, I might do that again next season. I mean, it's a bit of a shame because I've obviously put quite a lot of effort in this season, and it's been nice to make different videos. But obviously, like, I've got no chance of really competing on the leaderboards because my time's spread across 3 accounts. So I suppose I could do. Now, this is one of the coolest skills in this game, Zombie Charger. Look at that, isn't that cool? Doesn't do anything, like, but looks good. So we probably need a skill swap, and we've probably got some more runes and stuff as well, haven't we? So let's just have a little look-see. So we've got rune on this, removes the mana cost. Yeah, we'll take that. And then zombie dogs, I think we'll keep them. Have to wait for them to come off cooldown. Witch Doctor's got such an easy time. All these minions shielding damage, keeping up the masker bonus for us. It is pretty good. Keep forgetting about these soul harvest stacks. Big Daddy Dan would be shaking his head. Alright, still waiting on the zombie dogs to change the rune, and we'll have a little look at the rest of it. A zombie charger build would have been epic. That would have been so good. Right, zombie dogs. So we want damage over times poison. Suppose that's okay. Soul harvest, no rune. Suicidal zombie. Does it cost anything? Yeah, it costs mana. I suppose we don't really have any spenders. Yeah, I suppose we'll leave that on. I can't really think of anything. I haven't leveled the Witch Doctor. I don't know. I suppose I didn't do one this season. I did Necro, so I haven't actually leveled the Witch Doctor for quite some time. So probably picking all the wrong skills and stuff. But as I said at the start of the Rift, you know, you got to be having fun. I think that's, you know, Dagger Darts getting buffed for this class was a biggie, because it's quite a straightforward build. It's quite nice, quite good to get your sycophants doing your darts and stuff. Machine gun witch dock, as Big Daddy Den calls it. But it is nice to see. It is nice to see that we're getting new stuff in the game, like the new sets. I do think it's a bit weird that we came to the season with the Savage set not being as good as Whirlwind, and I think it's a bit weird that we came to the season with the Hydra set probably not being as strong as Veers. You know, I think those two things probably could have been tweaked. I don't think that would have been that hard to do, but I mean, the great hope really is that once this next couple of sets of the Necro and the DH one, once they come out, the game will then move into like a kind of like balance phase where we'll end up bringing all the builds, or as many of the builds, kind of as close to each other as they possibly can. You know, like Whirlwind has grown on me. I used to not really actually like it very much. I used to think it was a tad dull, and obviously you can make an argument that it is still a tad dull, but it's just so powerful. It's just so easy to play. It's, you know, it's really chill. You can do nice GRs, a nice GR level without really taxing your brain too much, which is kind of good. You know, if you're just looking to play the game for a bit of chill, that's certainly a good thing. But it would be pretty cool if Hota and Slambarb and Earthquake were all at the same level, you know, or maybe even a little better. Maybe you had Whirlwind as like the really best way to key farm, or Charge Barb. Charge Barb's so good, so much fun to play. Back in T13, the Rogue season, really loved that build, playing Charge Barb. You know, so really I think every kind of class should be in this kind of spot whereby you've got like 2 or 3 really fast viable key farm builds without like one of them having a massive leg up on the others, so that, you know, if you want to farm some keys, you're not getting bored, you're not just doing the same build over and over again. Then again, you know, similarly for speedruns, you probably want at least 2, preferably 3 options to do your gem ups. And then push builds, you know, there should almost be like one for every kind of what's the right word? Every kind of like way to push. So you've got Elite Sniper, where you just ignore all the trash and you only kill elites. You know, a more kind of like area damage trash based setup. I don't know. I don't enjoy pushing, to be honest. I haven't even pushed it. I've got like 1000 Paragon. I haven't even pushed past much past GR 100. Just haven't got round to doing it. It's not my jam. Although my augments are kind of nearly done on some of the classes. Alright, a Kane's plan. Kane's Borns, that'll do. So let's go back to town and craft that. But yeah, I probably should push more. Probably should try and get my gems up, but I'm still filling out my augments and still having some good fun. Right. Train? Is it train? Or do I just go into my inventory? Yeah, just do inventory. Right. Now, what's Borns? That's the only problem with ranking this guy up. You've got to flick through all these things. Not a helm. Is it shoulders? Yeah, shoulders, level 20. Let's craft these. And it is also weapon. Probably don't want a weapon. So let's go for chest piece. Go for the chest. Born's Heart of Steel. Can't use him to level 20. Do we keep him on us? Depends whether the inventory gets full. Let's stick him in here. We're pretending we're on hardcore, aren't we? So let's do the safe thing. Do. And not that way. Or is it that way? No, it's not that way. It's this way. Back through the portal. It's like I've never played this game, honestly. But yeah, I'm hoping the game moves into a kind of balancing phase where we balance in between the classes. That would be pretty nice. It's like jumping on the Demon Hunter for a bit to do the multi-shot guide. Like, multi-shot is an incredible build. It's one of my all-time favourite. I know I always say everything's my favourite, but it's probably my favourite Demon Hunter build, and is a really fun build. If you obviously, I'm guessing most of you've played multi-shot, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Wrong way, lad. But to notice just the absolute drop in power compared to playing like Barb or Witch Doctor, it is a little sad. And it's not much, but it is silly. You know, I wish I could control my brain a little better to not be quite so hung up on the level of GR that I'm doing. But you do end up at the point where you're thinking, well, you know, whatever level it is, let's say I'm clearing 95 in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes on my Barb. If you then jump on your Witch Doctor and you're dropping like 7, 8, 10 GR levels for like the same amount of Paragon, similar gear, similar augments or whatever, you know, it does just make you feel like, well, I may as well be playing my Barb. But I don't know. So hopefully speaking, they'll balance the classes in terms of where they're up to in power. But I think importantly, I probably almost would rather they balance the classes amongst themselves. That would be my bigger priority probably. So that if you weren't, let's say, I don't know, it's a tough call actually, because, you know, if you pick Barb, you're just going to end up playing Whirlwind. It's very hard, other than for just the sheer fun side of it, which, you know, obviously for some people is bigger than others. Some people just want to get their kicks and their juice by going as high as they can. So you end up almost forced to do Whirlwind. So I kind of think, personally for me, I'd rather they sorted out the balance in between the classes, so that like Whirlwind was similar to Earthquake, for example, and similar to Hota. I'd probably rather they did that than just pick one random Barb build and said, right, that's going to be at the same level as everything. So, you know, taking Demon Hunter for an example, if they plop the new Demon Hunter set in there and it is as strong as Whirlwind, that obviously will be good for the game. We'll all be pleased. But if they don't touch multi-shot and they don't touch Impale, and that those two things are now essentially 10 GRs behind the new Demon Hunter set, I'm not so sure they've made things terribly much better. But the other, maybe you do that first and you work on the balance in between the classes later. I don't know. I don't think there's a definite right or wrong answer to that, but let's say I think we're heading down, aren't we? No right or wrong answer to that one, but you know, the imbalance of the game, I know a lot of people do complain about that, and it does feel silly. It's, you know, at the end of the day, like creating the new sets, I think it should be a much harder job than balancing the existing ones, because I mean, you must know roughly what the sets can do. You know, and if Blizz don't, then there's so many content creators, there's so many people who play this game a lot who would, I'm sure, gladly give up their time to help test and put things in the right area. I mean, you look at Rage and Free did the Barb proposals when they were really unhappy with the spot Barb was in. They made a really detailed dossier, stuck loads of time, loads of effort into it, and you know, people like that are just, you know, that's the lifeblood of the game, isn't it? The people who are still playing it now 7 years later. So let's not get frozen. So I'm sure there's plenty of people who will gladly do those things, and ultimately all you're doing is swapping numbers around. You know, you take the multi-shot multiplier and you just juice it up by 50% or something, you know, or double it to give you the extra kind of 5-6 GR levels that you're looking to get. And you know, maybe you do it on PTR, and then right, that should be over double damage now, and you just do it on PTR and you move them up and down afterwards, you know, as and when, if you need. So now we're going to end up with a problem here, aren't we? Because I've got a two-handed weapon and I've got a gazing demise. In fact, I think I even warned about this problem whilst I made my Witch Doctor starter guide. But never mind. See what's in this chest. Nothing.
The Rift Guardian is here.
Another nasty Rift Guardian Blighter, one of my least favourite. Ooh, sweating that one. No, it was fine. It was fine. Righty-ho. Let's get this handed in. Done. And is the Gazing Demise in here? Yeah. So it's going to take our damage down. But that's what we were doing. 75 there. 176. I tell you what, we could just extract it. Let's see what we get on the... we should have done this at the start as well, shouldn't we? Let's see what we get on this Ceremonial Knife. Is that a dagger? Is that a Ceremonial Knife? It's hard to tell with these switch icons. Hopefully that was the right thing. Rare Ceremonial Knife, yeah. So let's see what we get out of this. Upgrade rare item. Last breath. Okay, so we definitely don't want to extract that. So in that case,
I cannot do that here.
yeah, we've got the recipes, extract power, and let's stick the Gazing Demise in there.
Wondrous artifact of old, and that's what you want to do with it.
So Spirit Barrage is next level, so we should be good to go after that. Let's just check and make sure we didn't pick up. This is where the UI really sucks, because you got to actually scroll down and go through all these just to make sure none of them are what you want to keep. I guess we'll keep this for 70. I guess it's usable at 70. It didn't have. I forgot to check. It didn't have reduced level requirement on it. No. Never mind. Okay. So we need to just get to 17, I think. I'll tell you what, we'll quit and we'll go up to next difficulty, because it shouldn't be too long till the Gazing Demise and Spirit Barrage even at 17. That's where we've got to put up with the terrible loading screens. So game settings, and we'll go up to hard, and that should hopefully speed us along, because how long have we been going? Nearly an hour. So pretty slow. Pretty slow. But we don't want to die. That's the main thing. Don't want to die. That would be embarrassing. Very embarrassing. One thing I was going to ask is if anyone does have a Switch, if they have any games that they'd recommend, because pretty much this is the only thing I've been playing on here. I've got... what have I got? I suppose everybody's got Fortnite. My son loves that, so I do play that occasionally. It's kind of hard. I used to love Call of Duty. I used to play a lot of that, and it's kind of similar. You know, it's a shooter, I suppose, but it's the building. The building's the pain. That's the thing I can't get my head around. I mean, I know I could do it if I just sat down and practiced with it, but I don't have the time, and maybe not the inclination. So if there are any games that you'd recommend, that would be pretty good. Obviously ARPGs, I don't know if there are any other ones other than this. And I pretty much only use my Switch for handheld. I've got it plugged in obviously to a second monitor here, whilst plugged into my computer. But in general, I don't really game on the TV with this. Kind of either do my gaming on the PC or on my Xbox. So the Switch is reserved for holidays and travel, and just you know, I guess Let's Plays now as well. Yeah. So if there is anything cool to check out, obviously we do have more time on our hands these days because there's obviously not much going on. Right, let's get Spirit Barrage on here. I think it's 17. There we go, Spirit Barrage. Now, is the Spirit Dart slow? So we need this. We need that. We need the Spine Dart. This is where my lack of Witch Doctor knowledge is going to become apparent. Is there one of these runes that generates mana? Just worried we're going to run out. Let's see. Right, we don't want to be casting that. Do not want to be casting zombie dogs. Oh, stupid buttons. I've ended up putting spiders on. Yeah, so that is chunking through the mana pretty quickly. Right. Didn't mean to swap this off spiders. Let's put that back on poison darts. And then we'll go for the slow. I think that's maybe a bit more useful. Missed everybody then. Right, Spirit Barrage. Pew, pew, pew. Not really hitting as hard as I'd hoped. That was a little disappointing. I did equip it in the... God's sake. Absolute stinker at this. Absolute stinker. Let's go back to town. Let's put the Gazing Demise on so that Spirit Barrage actually does some damage. Size. Never mind. At least we realised straight away. I was thinking that really isn't hitting like it's got a multiplier. Because it should be doing that. That's what it should be doing. Never mind. I've only got myself to blame. Pick up the extra XP. So maybe we get the extra runes obviously as well on Spirit Barrage, which is cool. So maybe we could even jump up another difficulty, because we should be just whizzing through this. We just need to get to 20, get the Bournes on, get a little bit of XP boost. Could do with finding a red gem to go in the helm, and we'll be cooking. But there are some guys who are so talented at this class, they would literally be at max level in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So we could do with the way of mana regenning, because obviously we just want to use the Spirit Barrage to DPS to do the damage. So I think we get Spirit Walk soon. That'll help when you get the Jaunt rune. Can't remember what other ways are there of getting mana. There's a passive that gives us it. So maybe we'll have a look at that. You can already see, like obviously we've got a speed pile, but you can see the pace of clearing. I keep pressing. I've got to take Zombie Charger off. I keep pressing that by accident. You can see the clear speed's going to be improved a lot. The view on the Switch is a little weird. Like the mini map's like too zoomed in. Like see, there we go. Little zombie guy. Absolutely pointless. Looks so good. So cool, but so pointless. But I keep glancing down and I keep seeing A for the generator, and A on the Xbox is where B is on the Switch, and it is potty. You just wait till we get teleport on it. Just wait till the absolute mess make of it then. But what we had, one legendary. I suppose we're only at level 19. Just feels like because I've been doing this so slowly, feels like it's been taking ages. But this is a decent map. You can now absolutely blow these elites up, so that's pretty good. Starting to get gems as well. And we've got the Gargs. Get the Garg on the go. Wonderful. Garg is really cool. I do love Garg. I think, you know, the pet-based classes, I do like them. I do like the idea of being in charge of like a little posse, little group of badass things that wrecks. Obviously the AI on them is generally pretty terrible. But I guess that's probably hard to write. So let's get those braces on. If we picked anything else up, always worth having a little check. We'll stick those on for all of 20 seconds, I guess. And this is where the performance of the Switch starts slowing down. When you get in this kind of map, you can really see the frame rate drop. I mean, to be honest, it does. I've got an Xbox One, and the frame rate drops in this kind of situation, which obviously again is another reason why the game just feels better on. I should have put them in inventory. The Born set. But yeah, it's why the game just feels a lot better on PC as well. Never mind. We'll bullet this guy, and then we'll get the Borns on. Punching us a little bit. Right, let's get all that stuff gobbled up, then back to town. And the other thing we can't forget about is the two-handed weapon. Right, so something with a socket. Was any of this stuff any good? I don't think so. No, let's get rid of all of it. We've got Bones in the chest, so we're going to get the Jason Bones on. So that gives us 2% life, but importantly 20% XP. Probably ready for another two-handed level upgrade, are we? Level 20, level 21. We'll bash this. Be careful not to spend too many mats though, because we want to do the reroll trick. And that's given us what looks like another 40% damage, so that's okay. And I wanted to take this off because I keep pressing it, and I want something else. Maybe we put Grasp of the Dead back on with the removed mana, and that way I can't do that. And we need another passive. 2% mana. Paid with life, probably don't want that. Poison damage. Healed by health globe. Mana increase. I guess that. And do we have any other runes? Get the chill. We want the life support one. Life link, that's pretty good. And Leeching Beast, we don't get that till 54. Soul Harvest, gain increased mana, perfect. And Spirit Barrage, don't have a rune. Poison Darts, we still don't have the Generation rune yet. So I think that is good to go. And hopefully speaking, another 20% XP. If we could find a red gem, stick that in the Leorix, that'll help us out a bit as well.
I wish you luck, hero.
Do. So Soul Harvest stacks we want, because they're giving us extra mana as well. That way, when we press the wrong button, we just do the Grasp of the Dead. Much better. Ruins of Sacheron tile set. Again, pretty good map, quite like this one. There's some tile sets that I just absolutely detest. Can't stand them. Funnily enough, the rainbow one, absolutely hate that. Really, I just a lot of the time I just back out when I get that. I just go, I can't be doing this. Don't want to play it. Really awful tile set. And I know it was a joke. I know they put it in there for the get the Garg on the go. Why don't we have the Garg out? I know they put it in there as a joke. I think after all the criticism about like the art style not being dark and it being too cartoony. But honestly, absolutely terrible. And then the other one, is it the Shrouded Moors? The one that's just, you just never get any density on. That one's terrible. But on the whole, most of them are pretty good. Oh, legendary. So Crush Bane, I think. Two-handed mace. So again, complete cheese. We can just pause the game, identify it, stick it in, and we didn't even need to craft that other two-hander now. What a waste of mats. Still, never mind. So damage-wise, if I wasn't doing quote-unquote hardcore with this, you'd probably be whacking the damage up now, because if you die, it doesn't really matter. But you know, toughness is always your bigger concern. Because obviously fairly easily melting this stuff, which is good. Recast the Garg. But my my Witch Doctor loot pool knowledge is not particularly good. So maybe in between episodes I'll have a look. But then we'll do another 25 minutes or so. We'll do 90 minutes on this first one. See where we get to. See how far we can get. And let's have a little, once we've bulleted these, let's have a look. So frenzy sets, we've done that. But yeah, I don't know. I think I could maybe do a few more let's plays, a few more live commentaries of stuff. Something I probably could do with practicing at. You know, I mean, I would like to move into streaming at some point. It just doesn't necessarily fit with my lifestyle at the moment. I've got a wife and kids, and like at the moment, like they're just downstairs. It's middle of the day, so it's okay. I can come lock myself in here for an hour and do this, but committing like a few hours every day probably gets a bit tough. It's probably easier to do in the evening. Kids will be asleep then. I mean, I'll never say never, but I need to get some better kit as well, because I play Diablo on the laptop, and obviously you can't really stream that. In my videos even, it annoys me just the sound of the fan, so I need to get myself a proper desktop PC fairly soon. It's got to be on the to-do list, because I've just kind of fallen in with Mac. It's just, I don't know, I bought one at one point and I do all my editing on it, so I don't know. Longer term I probably should do, but yeah, this is good practice. It would be nice, I suppose, I mean, with the Switch, because it's only 720p, maybe I could try and stream it to YouTube. My internet might be good enough for that at the moment. You know, so maybe I could do. I'll have to see how this works out first. But I think now we're just relying on drops, aren't we? We've got to do the two-handed weapon craft. So maybe we'll do that once we get back to town, because otherwise I'm at risk of forgetting, and that's potentially quite important. And the last two characters I've levelled on Switch have been a Demon Hunter and a Wizard, and for both of them I didn't have a challenge rift bag. And my god, it was so painful. You just you forget just how difficult it was to level a character without the help. And I know that some people say, you know, it kind of ruins the game getting all these like hand me outs. I can kind of see the argument to that, but when you're used to them, going back is pretty hard. So let's hope we get something good off these two goblins. No, never mind. Right. Look at the phantasms. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right, turn in the rift.
Fine battle.
And then we're gonna go two-handed axe. Where on here is it? It's this one. Random axe, two-hander. Yeah, it's got the CC on the secondary, so let's try this one. And we're going to have to train Mystic Meg up. And then we want Enchant. No, we don't want to do life per hit. This is perfect, life per hit, CC secondary. So we've only got 3 things on here that we can roll. Fingers crossed to something good. 15, good start. Looking for anything over 20, I'd say. Just got to keep an eye on the mats as well. And the gold. Gold's a big one. 15 again, no good. So still got a fair bit. Can have a few more goes at this. So that's 15, that'd be level 55. That's not really good enough. Should do another 3. That's number 1. Number 2, last go, because we're going to start running out of gold. No, okay, so we're gonna stick that in the stash. Again, this is where like you can lose loads of time doing this. So let's have another go at one. That has CC on it as well, so that should be okay. It doesn't have life per hit. It's not as good as the last one because there's going to be 4 things. But we will have the gold cost down. So yeah, we've got 4 things this time. I know I talk about this in lots of my videos, but oh, banger, 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 banger! Thank you. That has never happened to me before. Now I talk about this in all my videos. You want to transmog this, just so that you don't auto salvage it by accident. Oh, what a banger! So that's level 40. So we've only got 16 levels to go, and we can get that out. What was on it? Vitality, no main stat. That's a pain, no main stat, but hey, we take the good RNG. Right, so let's do another rift, see where we go. I've absolutely no idea how people talk for hours all day. Absolutely wrecking my throat. Again, maybe you get better at it. Probably should have checked the skills and runes and everything as well. Probably would have been a good idea. The temptation's going to be though when we get that two-handed axe with the huge level requirement, reduced level requirement, will just be to absolutely jack the difficulty up and hopefully not get ourselves killed. Oh, it's dropped with strength. That is nuts. We'll hang on to that though, because in theory we can put red gem in, get some more damage maybe. We've also got big bad voodoo. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to play Mundanugu this season. It's been good. Ah, perfect. Gem Goblin. Come here, buddy. There we go. So, yeah, both of them gone. So we should have enough mats, I think, to rank these up, as in like combine them. And that will help us out again. But yeah, it's been fun to play Mundanugu. I never really did much Legacy of Nightmare Spirit Barrage. Didn't really play it very much. And visually it's a nice build. You know, it's got a few kind of interesting mechanics in it. So, like on one hand I was a little disappointed because the set, I heard Fluffy say this on the new Meta podcast and it made an awful lot of sense, to be honest. It was like, you know, it's good that there's a new set, but Spirit Barrage was in the game anyway. There was already a build for this. You know, if you wanted Spirit Barrage, all the stuff was there. You know, it would have been nice if they'd done something different. But I suppose what the counter to that would be that now Spirit Barrage is really casual, and if you want to play this game casually, you don't have to do yourself a Legacy Dreams, find all the items Witch Doctor. I mean, I like the way Legacy Dreams is structured, and I know a lot of people got put off by Legacy of Nightmares as it was because it was just so hard to build the character. You know, you needed everything as ancients. It felt really bad to take an ancient off because you got like no extra damage for non-ancients. So I think the kind of like halfway house of the you get half the damage is good. So, and I get lots of questions on the channel, lots of questions about people asking me to review builds, and I'd say the number one thing that most people do that could be improved on is if they're doing Legacy Dreams, they want 13 ancients in there. And you know, if you think about it, you've got 13 slots. Each slot is essentially worth 2 points, so it's kind of like it's out of 26. And if you miss 3, you're doing 23 out of the 26 slots of available damage. It's still pretty high, you know. So it's much better to get a better multiplier or the right piece in that slot rather than getting an extra 1/26 damage. So I do like the way the gem is structured. I'd say the only downside to it is it's made those rings absolutely pointless. I know there is a couple of builds that can use them, like Necro Thorns. I know I'd say chatted message racks occasionally. His opinion is that's a build that can be you still use with those rings. I think they need something else. I think if you're going to go to the trouble of basically doing it the really hard, long, convoluted way, I think it should be bigger. I think the multiplier should maybe be, you know, an extra 50% maybe for doing it the ring version. Or maybe you introduce a mechanic where primals give you double the value again, so that, you know, it gives somebody ultra hardcore something to work at. But other than that, having Spirit Barrage as a casual build is, you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, there invariably will be people who've tried it this season, like me, who haven't really played it very much. There'll be plenty of people who've maybe never ever played it, and have thought, well, I don't want to set that up. It's Legacy of Dreams, it's Legacy of Nightmares. I don't want to go to the time. But I'd say, out of all the sets, weirdly enough, I think, and it's the one I was probably the most excited for, the Wizard one probably is the biggest letdown. I've got the pieces this season. I've rolled a Wizard. I haven't really played it. I did it on PTR, and I know it's changed since, so I really should have a good look at it. But like Hydra, again, is something. It's like quite a good mechanic. I need to go to town, get rid of some of this stuff. Yeah, the mechanics, like the way Hydras look, is really good. It would have been nice if that had been just a little bit better. Right, is any of this stuff good? Yes, please. Yep, we'll take that belt. and then we're not going to take the rest. Again, it's another thing, like the UI, it's really hard to tell when you're out of space in your inventory, because normally you get your little on visual screen whenever you press I, you get to see everything. So it's really easy to kind of not realise you're full on like blood shards, or really easy to realise you're carrying too many items. But yeah, the Hydra, I mean, hopefully speaking, it'll get a tweak for the next season. That would be really good. It would be nice if it was better. It'd be nice if it was like the best wizard build, because again, you're never going to speed with that. It's the same. It feels that and Frenzy, both of them. You're never going to speed with them. The mechanics don't lend themselves to speeding, because you're not. It's hard to clear the screen. Essentially, with your your static hydras. They're not covering a massive area, and the Frenzy Savage is even worse. It's like you've got that little area of effect, but it is pretty much a kind of single target. Only in this concentrated area am I doing the damage. So if that's how the sets are going to function, that's fine. You probably do just need to make them the top set. It should be the most damaging way, because otherwise. I mean, I've put Savage together, made a video on that, but it's really hard to recommend to people to play it, other than just for the sake of saying, just play this because it's different. And I mean, I'd say the worst falling down in an ARPG, and in particular, I'd say this is probably one of the biggest criticisms I'd have of Diablo 3, and one of the things that I think fundamentally is probably fairly easy to fix. It's just maybe time consuming. Is that you shouldn't have things in this game that serve no purpose. Everything should have its place, and I mean that goes from the fact that most of these items that we find don't have powers, or have useless powers. I wonder what that mojo is. I wonder if it's another Gazing Demise. We could extract it. Oh no, we don't have the DBs. When we get to 61, we could we'll see what it is first. But yeah, as we're saying, I think everything in this game should have its place. So the runes is a good example. Generally speaking, if you look at any rune or any skill, there's one rune that you pick, and there's normally like a choice of 5 or 6. And most of the ideas behind the runes are pretty good. It's just they don't really fit, and you need to make them better. That's a bummer. Another Gazing Demise. Do we have anything decent one-handed weapon-wise? Probably not. So we're doing 560 damage. Yeah, we're going to do much more damage with this.
Not ready yet.
That's a shame. Do we want to keep that? I guess we'll hang on to that for the time being. So we've got one more rift. We'll do one more rift, and then we'll be not too far off 30. The other annoying thing is the game actually pauses. So this counter pauses when you start looking through your stuff. Really annoying. But never mind. Righty ho, last rift, last one of the playthrough, and fingers crossed we find a legendary. Something good. And obviously the game opens up a lot once you start getting up to 70. But I don't know, maybe we could try the next difficulty up. Oh, I'll tell you what we need to do actually, which we'll go and do, is to train the jeweler and get those gems ranked up. Train. Yep. So we'll just spend that. Go the full shebang, get it done. Combine gems. What did we get? And yeah, this is the worst thing about this game on console. You have to level up your gems individually by clicking them. It is painful beyond belief. Absolutely so painful. So it's like it makes augmenting really unpleasant. You just so bad. Never mind. Extra 25% XP. That's helpful. But yeah, oh, I'd forgotten about that. I'd absolutely, completely forgotten that was how you had to do it. Oh, so bad. Ooh, pair of pants. Well, we got the legendary we wanted. Let's see what pox folds. We'll get these on. A little bit of damage for us. I'll rank the rest of those gems up off screen because that's just dead boring. I'm sure you don't want to watch me do that. I'll probably try and do the next episode pretty soon. So I don't know, maybe we'll do 2 a week. No, just depends. Again, you'll have to let me know how many of these do you want to see a week. You know, I know obviously a lot of people, you know, maybe you stick them on, you listen to them in the background. Maybe a lot of people have gone by now. Maybe they don't stick around for the full thing. But we'll see. But as I say, thanks to everyone who's, you know, helped the channel in whatever way. It's been a pretty awesome journey over the last sort of year, really, since the channel actually started to take off and I got subs and viewers, which I still think is mind-bogglingly weird, but it is fun. I'm enjoying doing it, and that's the main thing. We're nearly at 30. We get another passive as well. So we just got that. We should be level 30 hopefully by the end of this rift, and then we've just got those 10 levels to box off. Not that way. Just those last 10 levels, and we get that awesome level 70 weapon that we can use at level 40. That's some pretty good RNG. It's only really kind of like, I guess, past kind of 60 that the fact there's no main stat on it becomes a bit of a problem. Because, you know, obviously it's just a load of extra damage, isn't it, that you're going to miss out on. But we should be okay. Remember when I did the Necro playthrough last time? I was absolutely just terrified I was going to die the whole way through. So I've, you know, been probably too cautious with the difficulty. But let's face it, we don't want to die. But it will be interesting to see how far we can get. Again, you know, I could be absolutely way off with the season being extended. You know, I mean, that to me makes sense in my head. It could well be that PTR gets announced, you know, in the next couple of weeks, and we could just all be, should we go for this? More zombie dogs? Spirit Vessel. Probably need to put that on, don't we? That would be foolish not to take that. On a hardcore let's play that isn't hardcore. But yeah, we could be surprised. Season 21 could be announced. We could end up with a PTR. You know, they might not need to actually be in work. You might be able to work remotely on lots of these things. Don't really know. Just have to see. But I think it was the PTR that ended the last Let's Play series, because it was just a case of, well, got some more work to do now, got some more testing to do. Looks like we're ending with pretty wretched tile set. This is definitely this is probably second least favourite in the game. It's one of those tile sets where when you get it, you always feel like you always get it, and obviously that's not true, but it is just a pain. But it's a really easy one to get lost on as well. I can never really work out which way it is to go. Like, it's probably down there, isn't it? It's probably backwards, but I get lost in this tile set like all the time. Absolutely rubbish tile set. Again, it's one of those things where you would have thought with a bit of play testing you'd realise, nah, this kind of layout. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of playing bounties, and obviously it's not that bad. There is still generally density, but You know, so many builds in this game function with like on hit mechanics, on kill mechanics, and you know the reason that they thrive is because the maps are generally quite tight. There's generally loads of mobs and enemies per map. There's pylons, there's nems to get the extra spawns off, and then to stick something like this in the game where it's just like this is slow, it's spread out, again just doesn't make much sense to me. More goblins? I had a fair few goblins actually. So I suppose that's one of the things. I was thinking, why have we got so many mats earlier when I was doing the re-rolling of the item? And it's because of double goblins, isn't it? And we've had quite a few. When we get to 70 is always a difficult choice because personally I like doing Legacy of Dreams. I just, I don't like busy work so much. So the whole kind of go and kill this person, go and do that, do this on that difficulty. I've never really been a fan of that, but obviously it makes sense every season to do it because getting the set bonuses is just absolutely huge compared to like scratching around. So I'll probably do it, I guess. I'll have to refresh myself on how on earth to look at it on this thing as well. But yeah, 1.5 hours, level 30, it's not too bad. Maybe we'll be at 70 in 3 hours, that's okay. Not the fastest, but as I said earlier, I'm not great at chatting and playing. Ooh, oh, double legendary, double legendary on the last go, last rift. I mean, you can tell up in say my prayers to RNGs. What did we get? Wrong button. Homing pads. Oh, we can't use them, can we? I suppose I could go craft a Bourne's weapon, but then we're going to be dumping it in a few levels anyway. Never mind. The Forgotten Souls, arguably useful early on. So, never disrespect RNGs. Always be grateful for what you get. You never know. It could be ages. I remember one season. Was it the one with the trying rings? I got my first primal from doing the 70 clear, and I swear I didn't see one for like 10 days. I was playing a lot. I was getting close to the point of like trying to message somebody at Blizzard going, have you turned primals off? I was looking through the leaderboards trying to find other people with primal items going, there's something wrong here, something wrong. And obviously it's just how RNG works, it's just the effect it has on your brain. Your brain loves trying to think that there's something wrong rather than just thinking, well, it's just bad luck, that's how it goes. But yeah, so there's one of my subscribers, I don't think that, or well, not necessarily subscriber, but I doubt they'll be watching, but they suggested cubing the Gazing Demise. It's actually working pretty well, because I'd kind of been of the opinion of you probably want to cube your ceremonial knife, assuming you get a good one. And obviously the decision was made for us because we got a crap one. But yeah, worked pretty well. Right, so we're overstuffed. I'm not going to bother picking that stuff up. It's a few arcane dust. We can leave that. Righty ho.
Your valor is unsurpassed.
So there we go, guys. Overrun by a few minutes. Hope you forgive me. It's just over 90 minutes. So that's episode 1 of the Let's Play. I'll hopefully see you soon for the second episode. Take it easy. See ya. Peace.